We back again. Week 2 of the NFL is upon us. And who would have thought the Eagles would be 0-1 going into week 2 after playing Washington? But that's where we at. So now we got to break down. And we all talked about this a little bit, what we was going to look like as the season went on. That's why we only picked the 4 games, if y'all remember. We only picked the 4 games in the beginning because nobody really saw who and what and who he's working with, what the linebackers look like, so forth and so on. So now we got a small sample size of what happened on Sunday, and now we're looking forward to the Rams and what that is going to look like. And I'm interested to see.
Looking forward, are we looking forward as in excited about expectations, or are we just looking to see what's coming ahead?
I mean, it's some things to be excited about. To me, I guess we can start some of the things that I was positive. If you take the positive from the game and move it forward from the last game and move it forward to this game, one of the things that I'm thinking about is the wide receivers. I was very impressed with the separation that Rieger had. Deshaun, he still got it. I mean, he spent a lot of time on the bench, obviously, but he still got the speed. He still got the moves. He was able to get open. The tight ends, Goddard looked real good. I thought we should have went to him more. So going in, I think it's going to be a huge week for him to do his thing. So, I mean, we got some positives going in offense. Carson looked very sharp for at least 4 or 5 drives. No.
What? What? Listen, no. We not. No. I'm not. I'm not going to let you finish.
Let me finish.
Did you start saying tight?
He did. For the first
sharp for a couple drives.
No. Listen. He said 4 or 5. I don't. 4 or 5. What? 4 or 5 plays?
4 or 5 drives.
No.
He did.
Nope.
He did. Carson looked sharp for 4 or 5 drives, and then you could tell the breakdown in the line of scrimmage started getting to him.
No.
And then he started resorting back, to the old Carson, and trying to do too much.
No.
Where he should have started throwing the ball.
Wait, what you mean he didn't? So
he didn't. At 17 points, that's 3 drives. 17 points is 3 drives. So he got 2 touchdowns in the field goal. So what's the 4 or 5 drives that he looked great at? Was it the one when he threw the interception for the second half? Yeah. Was it the one when he missed Rieger? What 4 or 5 drives are y'all talking about?
No, when the drives ended early because it dropped by Hightower. Wasn't that in the first half when Hightower dropped that pass?
Listen, if we keep it in the beam, even his very first pass to that crossing pattern, it was in the dirt. The ball dove down and caught it. Carson was not tight. Like he was.
So the pass to Goddard wasn't good. The pass in the back of the end zone to Ertz wasn't good.
Okay, but that's one pass is not a whole drive.
The whole way. No. Was it 2 touchdown throws good?
It wasn't 4 or 5 drives. You talking about 2 scores?
It wasn't. Come on,
it wasn't 4 or 5 drives.
So Ephraim and Ethan, y'all sound low. I need y'all to bring your mics up a little bit.
Do I sound better now?
Sam.
Y'all talking foolishness.
Listen, look, getting back to my point.
Wayne sound low because Wayne's screaming.
That's how you gotta do. Cause y'all talking foolishness. I gotta make sure y'all hear me.
Spit guard. You need that spit guard on your mic.
I mean, so from my point of view, it was some positive. Obviously, it was more negative than positive because we lost the game. But listen, my thing, and I'm not worried. This is what I said last week. I'm not worried about Carson. Y'all boys always try to. The last 10 games we've seen Carson Wentz play. What you gonna say? Out of the last 10, he might have had 2 games that you could call suspect. I'm not worried about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is the least of our problems. I'm worried about our offensive line, and I'm worried about our linebackers. That's the main 2 points of concern for me, and especially our offensive line. And also, is your man gonna play? How about that?
How about you stop giving excuses for Carson? You've been excusing Carson. The same bulls that want to rip Embiid because he's always hurt or he don't show up, and they said rip Carson. Rip Carson. Stop giving him. Okay, and I like Carson. I like Carson. I like the talent that he brings because he stunk. Carson Wentz stunk week 1.
Okay. So we had a bad game. So I'm going to just say, what am I saying now?
So don't sit there and try to say Carson had a good 4 or 5 season. He didn't.
Wayne talking like he had a. Wayne talking like he had a. a 4 or 5 week stretch of bad games.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm not.
down.
No, I'm not. Because
you
we're
are.
talking about the first game, and I'm arguing the point that Ephraim said he had 4 or 5 good series. He did not.
He did.
He did not.
Had a
No,
bad
he
half.
did not.
He had one good half.
He had one
bad
good
half.
quarter.
That's how
He had
played.
one good quarter.
He had one good. No, the 3 interceptions at the end of the half.
First of all,
Okay.
First of all, let's be clear about this. NFL, you ain't scoring on every drive. You're not. Even
Okay.
the Chiefs, with the best offense in the league, you ain't scoring on every drive. So just because the drive don't end in the score, don't mean the quarterback wasn't sharp. It's a number of things: a batted ball, a drop pass, the running back got grabbed before the first. It's a number of things that could stifle a drive. So let's not act like just because you only put up 17 points that you got to score on every drive. Nah.
Y'all mind if I get in for a second?
Go ahead, Tim.
No.
It's your turn.
No,
It's your
you're gonna
turn.
talk that stupidness again,
All right.
and you're gonna get me mad.
All right. Carson Wentz did not have a good game.
Let me know that.
Carson Wentz has been, and he was 9-7 last year, 9-7, and then he faked the concussion in the playoffs, and then
See, Tim, why you gonna mess my whole joint up? I'm
Then-
trying to be
he
real.
comes
with it.
back.
Hey, Tim, for real. Let's stay in reality. Let's
All right.
stay with facts. Let's
Let's stick with this season. Let's stick with this season. Let's stick with this.
All right. But here's what I will say. Y'all, Carson Wentz has not been an elite quarterback at all for the last few years, including yesterday, last Sunday's game.
See,
What?
this is the man at work talk about. Go ahead.
Listen, 9-7. How can you sit there and say a quarterback that's 9-7, you can't call him an elite quarterback?
Yes,
He's
you
not
can.
elite.
It's context. Everything is context. Well, so the receivers we had were elite last year. So his whole starting receiver core, Aguilar,
He threw
Jeffrey,
4,000 yards.
Exactly.
4,000.
And that's the context.
Listen,
That is the context.
he's-
4,000 yards with suspect receiver, but backup receiver.
He's been compared to Brett Favre like a gunslinger, but he's susceptible to a lot of interceptions in the net.
So was Brett Favre. So, I mean,
All right. Let's stay focused. Let's look at these matchups, right? What about you think Jalen Ramsey's going to follow somebody around? Or he's just going to stay on the side. If you had to pick somebody to follow, who would you follow? Just Deshaun or Rieger?
Jalen Ramsey not really fast like that.
Do he travel?
Huh?
Does he travel?
Yeah, he travels.
How many interceptions Carson Wentz throw last year, Tim? Hold on one second, Ethan. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get back to that, but I hate when.
Why is y'all talking about last year? We talking about this year.
No.
We're talking about. We just said we're going to keep it on the
Tim
chair.
brought it up.
I'm gonna tell you why. Tim brought it up. He
All
said
right.
Carson Wentz is susceptible to throw a lot of interceptions because of his play. Now,
And
you
then-
look at the stats. No. You look at the stats and tell me how many he threw last year.
How many fumbles he had last year?
Look at the stats. Tell me
How many
interceptions.
fumbles?
You said
How many times he turned the ball over?
you didn't say fumbles. You said picks. He threw 7 picks last year and 27 touchdowns. That's a lot of interceptions.
9-7.
Whoa, wait.
9-7, and including the fumbles. How many fumbles he had?
He probably had 5 fumbles.
Okay, so that's
Maybe
good.
six. Maybe
Y'all
6
sitting
fumbles.
there asking each other questions. Neither one of y'all looking at the stats.
I'm
Did
looking
he
at
get?
that. I told you got
let's
7
ask this
picks.
question.
Stack
Did he
that.
get his team to the playoffs?
Yes.
What did
Either
he
yes
do?
or no, Tim. It's either yes or no.
He barely. The
It's either
NFC
yes or no.
stunk last year. You know.
Let me
it.
know. Let me know when y'all get to this year.
You said Carson
The
stunk last year?
NFC East stunk. Everybody, the Cowboys collapsed, and that's how we got in the playoffs.
What is that?
That's how we got in the
what I'm
playoffs.
saying.
Don't act like we won
So
it.
what
We
does
won it
that,
by default.
what does that mean? That's the
That
same
that
thing.
actually ain't. Tim,
What does that mean? A lot of people, remember, boys are trying to say
All right, tell me this: was the Cowboys in position to win the division for most of the year?
Yeah, because they was playing the trash part of the schedule and they got up early, and then when they had to play the talented part of the schedule, they started getting spanked. So let's keep that at a bit. That's why I said let's stick with this year. We're talking about this year's team. It's not. Listen, when I'm talking about Carson, I like Carson as a player, and I think Carson has talent. Tim, you don't like Carson, so you
I like
go over.
Carson.
No, you don't. Stop.
He's a nice
Stop.
guy.
Okay, Carson.
He's a nice
Tim, what jersey you
jersey
got on? What jersey you got on?
Eagles jersey.
No. Stand up and show the back of that jersey.
Oh, this is
No. Show the back of that jersey.
Listen.
jersey you got on.
it doesn't matter.
Who jersey you got on?
Show us.
All right, I got on Jalen Hurts jersey only because
Exactly.
they were the newest jerseys.
No.
You got a discount on it because he was a rookie, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
you just spent all that money. This bull might not even pay a
Listen,
game.
because I know that eventually he's going to be the next quarterback of the Philadelphia.
Right. So you're hating on Carson. So that's why I'm saying let's stick to the facts
Because
of this year.
not only have
and not
I gave up on Carson, and so has the Philadelphia Eagles, which is why they drafted.
No, they did. They didn't give
They
up.
gave up on him. He is not the future of this franchise.
See, boys like you is gonna make me have to go overboard on giving Carson excuses. I want to actually look at this for what he showed last week and look at what he can do going forward. You're trying to look for petty stuff to rip Carson because your agenda, because you like Dak Prescott who's trash. So I can't wait for Carson to dice the Rams up and so then you can start talking about how that's when all the sorry sad step stories with Dak Prescott is going to come out again.
All right, so
I think we're going to see.
We're going to address this, but let's go with the offense. Let's go with the Eagles offense right now. So the game starts. We have an early game, 1:00 game on Sunday. Carson Wentz is going against the Rams defense. Aaron Donald in that defense. Tell me, what do y'all think we're going to do? Do you think that we can handle that defense? Because that defense looked pretty good against Dallas last week.
Who's playing? Our running backs is Miles Sanders playing.
Miles Sanders is playing, and so is Lane Johnson.
Playing. Is Jason Peters playing? Is Lane Johnson playing? Jason Peters he ain't practiced because he had that hurt hip.
I think he's gonna play. I think that's that old man. I don't want to practice stuff.
Yeah. But do y'all think we are we okay now that you know that Miles Sanders is probable and Lane Johnson is a definite? Y'all feel we got a shot on offense? Deshaun came out and said he wasn't injured, so he's going to probably play more snaps.
A lot of it still depends on coaching. Because I honestly, when I looked at first of all, Aaron Donald is a monster. I was looking at some of them plays, man, when they were showing this bull was double teamed, went through the double team, and then still knocked over the third bull. Like this dude is a monster. But what the Eagles have to do is they have to still feature them tight ends on them quick passes. Wentz has to get rid of the ball quickly. He has to recognize where to blitz because the Rams do blitz because they know that Donald is being double teamed. So what they do is they blitz from somebody else. So now it's like you got to choose who you're gonna get. Wentz got to get rid of that rock. And if Miles Sanders is playing, Miles Sanders got to hit them runs behind where Donald coming in, and he got to put in work.
Doug got to call a better game.
I agree.
That's what I agree with that.
I agree with that. And my thing is, their defense looked good against Dallas, but I mean, if you playing an inferior quarterback, anybody defense going to look good. So, it was throws to be made, but, their Dallas quarterback didn't make the proper throws. So, Of course, the defense is going to look so much better.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, so, now that they're playing against a superior talent, now is a matter of Doug calling the right plays and really being balanced with his attack. This is where, that 40-16 ratio last week was a disgrace. And we talked about that. And one reason why, and Wayne is right, we do want to stick with this year and how players are playing. However, one reason why you're going to hear me personally resort back to last year, because that's all we have to go on as history. We didn't have a preseason. We can't say what this dude looked like, so forth and so on. So sometimes you may hear me regress back to last year based off of the currency of this year and how the current status rather of this year and how this year is looking. However, if we get Miles back, if Miles is 100%, I do think that adds another. No, listen, Miles. I like Miles. Miles adds a dynamic, and we talked about this way, so I'm not hating on Miles. When Tim was talking about when I said Miles, what did I say about Miles?
I don't know what you say.
Remember,
you said Boston Scott was better. What else?
No. I said I think Boston Scott's a better running back. But of a runner of the football when it came to running. But I said I think Miles can lead the league in all-purpose yards. Remember that?
You did.
Remember that? So with Miles back and you got him able to catch out the backfield and run and hit the corners and all that. If Doug caught the right game plan, I think we can move the ball on the Rams defense. They front seven, obviously. Front line is a monster, but I think
I think Doug needs to do as far as calling the game.
He needs to run the ball a little more. I think if we have Miles, he'll probably be a little more. He might give the run a little more of a chance since we got Miles. I don't know why he didn't want to run with Dougie, run with a little BS like that, little Boston Scott, but
because his initials is BS.
Listen, but let me say this to you. I feel like this. The bull, Doug, roll out of the pocket. If I don't see him roll out the pocket this game, I'm going to be very, very annoyed.
Not even just roll out of the pocket. First of all, let me just say, I think we all understand that Boston Scott and Miles Sanders are both talented in their own rights. So don't misconstrue when we sit here and we troll each other about these certain things. But I think that Carson Wentz not only just rolling out of the pocket. Sometimes I think you might have to do like a straight quick quarterback draw. Like if these dudes is running up the field a certain way, sometimes Carson got to just run up, just take a few yards and then slide. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep it in a fresh.
I think the biggest thing we got to do is use our biggest talents on offense is our tight ends. I agree. We got the two best tight ends. I'm not gonna say in the league, but as a combo, I think they top 5 easily.
I agree.
Goddard right now.
The best.
Goddard is on another mission. To be honest with you.
But see, even that, like I agree with you on the quick strikes, and that's why it's a game of chess, and that's why a lot of it falls on Doug, because if you have those opportunities, well, let's not confuse anything. It all starts with those guards in the center keeping Donald from just exploding up the middle. That's what it starts with. So if you can contain him some and make it where they have to blitz some to get that extra pressure in, then you have to do those quick passes. And even with the quick passes, then you also have to, and this is where, to me, I think it made a big difference with Carson last week. If he hits Rieger on that deep pass, it makes all the difference in the world. Because if you hit on more than just one deep, if you hit on a couple of them deep passes, it opens a whole lot up where
what the problem was with the deep pass, though, right?
What's that? Because Deshaun ain't get those reps.
You got to hold
that
the ball
7-step drop instead of you need to do a lot.
Yeah, no. I get you with the holding the ball long, but Rieger was open deep.
But what meaning when you hold the ball longer? That means your offensive line got to block longer. Yeah, so, I mean,
no, I get what you're saying with that, but for real, if you have two good teams, you're not going to get a consistent thing where a ball is open all the time. So I'm not expecting the Eagles to get that on the. My point is, when those opportunities arrive, the great quarterbacks, when you get that slither of a window, like when it's that one, like Tom, and I'll go with Tom Brady in his heyday, when I don't know what he's doing now. But when Tom Brady in his heyday, if you gave him that one window, that one time you slip up and you leave that ball open, he hit me. And that's what I need from Carson. And I do think Carson can do it, but I think Carson gets in his mind like, I got to do everything, and he starts doing everything. And to me, Doug needs to reel that in, and Doug contributes to that.
Who did Deshaun light up last year when he got the 2 touchdown games and he had like a monster game? Was that the Redskins?
Washington, the first game of the season. That's the only game he played.
Okay.
See, my thing is, and I agree with Wayne, but if you look at last year, when Carson got on the roll, the dude that they had in the lineup was making plays. When Ward got in the lineup, Ward was getting catches. He wasn't dropping stuff. What adds to a quarterback's confidence is the wide receivers making plays and not dropping balls. When you get
Ward made plays last game. Ward had 5 receptions, 7 targets, 5 receptions, but only for 31 yards and 6.2 yards per carry.
But you know what I think? I think? Wentz don't do a lot. Wentz don't. If we all been watching Wentz for a long time, the one thing Wentz doesn't do a lot of for some reason is check the ball down.
True.
He always wants to play the extra play. Sometimes he has to learn, check the ball down to your running back. If you notice, when we was on routes, when we was doing on wins, he was checking down more to Boston and Miles Scott, because remember they was making huge plays off of the little check down. So he has to learn to check. Sometimes get a ball to your playmakers. Let them go ahead and try to do something. You don't got to do it all the time. But you got to pound that back in his head again.
But that's
I don't think he threw the back once last week.
But that's where it goes to the coach. He did throw to the running backs. Like I said, to me,
he had a ball in training camp, just throwing that ball and just hitting them wide receivers. So he just wanted to do the same thing in the game.
But he wasn't. But that's the problem. He wasn't in the last few weeks. He wasn't practicing, and that's what I'm saying. To me, this is why I put so much on Doug, because Doug got it in his mind. The Eagles organization got it in their mind. They won.
That's what I said last week.
No. And I agree with you. But part of it is Doug but part of it was Carson was not sharp at all. Because like I said, if you have that when he went to Rieger, he read the play perfectly. He saw Rieger was open and he overthrew him.
But that's my point. That's what I was saying. You knew Carson probably wasn't going to be sharp for the exact reason you said. He wasn't in practice. He missed a lot of the camp because they was nursing a soft tissue injury, or they was trying to make sure he didn't get injured, whatever that was. So the coach
It was a
knew
groin
that.
injury. But
No, Carson wasn't a groin.
For them to be successful, what's the run-pass ratio you think they need for this particular game? Because last week was ridiculous.
It was at least 60-40, man. You gotta give me at least 60-40.
I'm not stuck on the run pass ratio. To me, I think it's about how the flow of the game going. My thing is even if the Eagles was going to keep passing it, right? I have no problem with that. If you see your quarterback is hot and he's cooking, like if Carson's hitting Rieger on that deep one, and when Deshaun was cutting over and he was able to hit it, if that's popping, then run it. But once you see the Redskins, once you see the football team made a change, once you see that the football team made a change in how they was approaching things, then you should have made a change. And Doug has it set in his mind, I'm going to do what we do. And that's not the way you win football.
First of all, you have to do it. It's all about playing mental games sometimes with the defense.
I agree.
You can't always snap back, pass. You know what I mean? You still have to keep the defense thinking.
Yeah.
The football team didn't have to think at all.
Right.
All they had to think was rush the quarterback. That's all they did. It was ridiculous the way they and Doug didn't do nothing to help them. Doug has a lot on his plate this week. I think they'll play better only because I think they actually took this football team last week very lightly. It was disrespectful, and this is what happens in the NFL when you try to disrespect a team. That's why I don't want to hear nobody say, "Oh, you only beat them," because in the NFL, any given Sunday, you got to come to play these teams. These are all grown men on these football teams.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at the other side of the ball, the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they played well last week overall, but I still didn't like the fact that they gave up 27 straight points. I know what they gave us was a lot of short fields, but at the same time, I'm expecting them to at least play a lot better where they're not giving up 27 points. 27 points to me is a lot.
And listen, let's be but I do agree with what y'all were saying last week as well, or after the game as well. I think Ethan initially made the point of talking about the defense didn't make plays, like cause turnovers or something like that. So I do agree with that to an extent.
That was
but like I said, what you said, it was you, Tim?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I agree with that point that you made. I agree with that point. But my thing is, the Eagles' offense was giving the ball up. As a defensive player, when I played football, I played defense. As a defensive player, you sitting up there, and when you set up and you make this stop, it's like, yeah, we hype this, that, and other. You just want your offense to do just don't put us back in the hole. You want the offense to do enough so that, okay, now you get them back down there, and now give me some room to make plays. Give me some room that whereas though I can open up and do certain things. When you got your back against the wall, now it's kind of like, okay, we don't want to give up no touchdowns, so you can't take certain gambles. You can't blitz how you might want, not that drum short blitz like that, but you can't take certain gambles because it's like as soon as you make a gamble, you're back against the wall, it could be a score. Whereas if the team got a march from down the other end of the end zone, you open it up a little bit. Like you're like, okay, if we get them like 15 yards, that's cool. They got to go 80.
All right, so the Rams, their running back, Malcolm Brown, he looked pretty scary. And I don't know much about him, but he was hitting the hole hard. He runs between the tackles, right between the guards, and he's not doing nothing side by side, but he's going straight up the gut.
I like our tackles.
Exactly. Our tackles is not Dallas tackles. I watched some of that film. Dallas tackles are not our tackles.
They do run a lot of play action and stuff like that, so we do got to be careful on that.
That's true.
So that is something to look for.
Go ahead.
When you play defense, did you make solo plays? Or you was like a gang tackler type boy? You was one of them boys?
It depends on the play. Like honestly, when I play defense, I actually got double teamed a lot because I could get past the offensive linemen.
Man, you wasn't getting no double team. Boys that love capping themselves up like they was a double team.
Listen, some of the people watching this podcast watch me play.
You know,
First of all, I demolished when I played against the Legends. Where a couple people on this board was on the Legends. I was demolishing them, and I watched them watch on the sideline, and I watched them as they cheered me after I beat them and put them off the field. You was because you bailed on your team and you wasn't
there.
Y'all,
Al Bundy telling poke high stories.
Yeah, exactly.
No, listen, he asked me. But I'm telling you on real talk, like everybody talk about I'm big and slow, but I actually got some quickness to me. It was always a running back helping to chip out. So,
man, I think that was Kurt Brown.
We just lost the audience. We just lost the audience. We lost 95% of the audience.
Listen, all my FTM brothers know. They know what I was doing playing up in there, and so I ain't even got to
back to the Eagles.
Back to the Eagles. Exactly.
Talk about dress up.
Back to the Eagles. Yeah, you're right.
Now that Coach McVay, they like using the wide receivers on running plays. We used to do that with Deshaun back in the day, but we
end around.
Using the running backs. I mean, using the wide receivers for running.
I think this Eagles defense is actually built
geared to stop
that kind of because Gary was a safety at one point in time. Now he's like the linebacker or whatever. I thought the board. Go ahead. What?
Go ahead. My bad.
No. What was you saying?
No, I want to change the topic altogether.
No, I'm gonna stick to the linebacker real quick. I do agree with Wayne. Edwards actually looked a little better than I anticipated. He was in the action, hitting some holes. They did allow some.
Is that the boy you was hating on for the gold tips?
No. That was the gold tips was Riley. That's Riley. What's his name? Duke
Riley. Yeah.
I seen him he was throwing his hair in some tackles.
Yeah, no,
he was.
He was trying. The linebackers like they went hard. They did allow some runs in the second half, which allowed Washington to get in position to score. It was like 2 or 3 long runs I saw. But, altogether, I expect some stuff to happen. They young. The core they run it, or they linebackers rather, Duke Riley is the oldest linebacker tenure. He got 4 years, I think. I think him and Gary might have 4 years. But the starting middle linebacker, I think he's a second-year dude, played special teams all year last year. So I'm expecting some things to happen. But we want the meat of our defense, the heart of the defense, them tackles, is Jackson and Cox and the other dude.
Is the other dude playing this year? Because he didn't play playing this game. He didn't play the first game.
Hargrave.
I got to check on that. He didn't play. He didn't play last week.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to. If he play this week, I don't know if he's playing or not. But they're gonna have to bring the heat. That's
the other thing too. When you talk about this defense, because it does seem like the Rams do a lot, like up the middle. Our defensive tackles is a strength, and Brandon Graham, a lot of it depends on Brandon Graham too, because like Ethan, I think it was Ethan that said
he's in concussion protocol. Is he out yet?
Who Graham is?
Yeah, he's not playing. But Derek Barnett.
Oh wait, Graham ain't playing?
No, he probably won't play.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
so that means that all that play action that the Rams like to run, Barnett is going to get redone.
Yeah, he'll know how to read it.
Like, oh my goodness!
Like the Rams, you got to remember the Rams are really a run-heavy team. They really a run-first team.
Yeah, but they run that play action. That play action. Your defensive ends have to understand that, and they have to contain that.
No, they're 60-40 run. They actually ran the ball 40 times and passed 30 times last week.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is like the point you made earlier, they like to run a lot of that play action. They run from the same formation. They run either run or the play action pass. If your defensive ends are not mature enough, and that's one thing I will give Brandon Graham credit for, is Brandon Graham is pretty good at sniffing that type of stuff out. And I have no trust in Gary.
Brandon Graham is good with stepping out screens too. I don't know.
I agree.
Or whoever going back him up is going to be able to sniff that screen out like he is. So, I mean, we'll see what the defense do. But I mean, I think the key point of this game, I'm confident in the secondary. To me, the secondary look good.
Yeah,
Brandon Graham is back, y'all.
I'm about to say, I just looked it up. Brandon Graham returns. We good. All right, I'm back on board. All right. Oh, and Javon Hargrave and Derek Barnett both practiced for the second day straight.
Yo, I'm so glad they brought LeBlanc back. I'm so glad.
I like LeBlanc.
I like LeBlanc. I'm glad they brought him back.
It seemed like a lot of fans was feeling the same way. They kept saying they couldn't believe they released him, but the very next day they got him.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm glad he came back.
It was a couple of them games. Him and Maddox was holding us down. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, they was. They was.
So, what do y'all like
Our
as far
defense-
as the final score? Do y'all think we're gonna pull it out?
For
I
some
do.
reason, call me thinking with my heart. I think the Eagles gonna win this football game.
I think they win too. Because you know another thing that we didn't discuss. Another thing we didn't discuss about this matchup.
What's that?
Dougie P and beat the boy, the wonder kid. What's his name? The coach for the Rams. Dougie P done beat him twice.
McVay.
Dougie P got his number.
Yeah, he do. He do. I mean, what makes me think we could win the game is looking at the Rams last game where they played this team. The quarterback could not hit nobody, and they was still that team. I think it was the Cowboys. They were still in position to win the game despite their quarterback play being suspect. So with that being said, I feel that with some decent, a professional quarterback, a real quarterback, mind you, playing this week, I think we could put some work in against the Rams. Like I said, it has to be a nice, solid, balanced attack. I think you got to be smart in who you have as personnel. Aaron Donald is a monster. It's no containing this dude with one person. So what you have to do is keep this dude on his toes, a mixture of run, rolling out the pocket, keeping the pocket moving, keeping him having the guess and where the blocks is coming from and all that kind of stuff like that. That's going to be key. If he go back to that 40 passes, 16 runs, we're going to lose again, I'm telling you. I don't care what the flow of the game is. You cannot put Wentz under that type of pressure.
I think the Eagles are going to pull it out too. I think we're going to go 1-1. I think it's not going to be because of Carson Wentz. I think Miles Sanders is going to be the one that's going to affect that.
We just lost like 5 listeners.
What's your man name at your job?
Oh, my man Mike. Mike, hey Mike, don't turn this off because it's him, Mike.
We got you, Mike. We understand he a hater, but I got you.
All right, y'all want to go around the NFL?
Yeah, let's do that.
Can.
All right.
Wait, real quick. But they said Miles Sanders and Lane Johnson both expected to play.
All right.
So, like I said, they should have played last week.
All right.
Maybe might be right.
Arizona Cardinals. Are you selling or are you buying?
I'm buying.
Who they playing?
I'm buying. He's talking about from the win last week.
Oh, from last week?
They beat San Fran, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sold on San Fran for real. Because you know the whole thing about when the team.
I'm not either. Be honest with you.
Guess who the Cardinals play?
Who?
The Washington football team.
I say Washington beat the Cardinals.
I think
Washington might beat the Cardinals too.
Washington
beat the Cardinals too.
Now, they got a nice offense right now.
And Washington has a nice defensive coach who made adjustments to do what he did to the Eagles. So
I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be 31-13 Arizona. They're gonna blow Washington doors off.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now. They're gonna blow
let me listen. First of all,
y'all
y'all
gonna be back to reality.
But see, y'all saying back to reality. And Ethan, remember, me and Ethan went to that game down in D.C. when the Eagles played Washington. The Eagles barely beat Washington back then. Like Washington wasn't just getting blown out.
It's a conference game. You gotta remember.
That's true. A division game.
Divisional game.
Back to life.
Cardinals.
Back to reality.
For the Cardinals, back to life. You right.
This what I do gotta say about our defense, our corners and stuff. They did play well last week, even though it was Washington. It was the quarterback didn't do that great. So it will be a challenge against Golf this week. So we will really get to see.
Golf is overrated. Golf overrated. Hey Tim, let me ask you something real quick because you taking our poll. Are you keeping track of who we're picking?
Oh, our picks for next week?
Yeah,
right. My fault. I take that as a no. That's okay. That's okay.
All right, so you said
always go back to
make it pop up right at the bottom of the screen.
We can always go back to this. That's all right. Okay, go ahead. So I got the Redskins against the Cardinals.
So you got Redskins. All right, yeah, because we got 5 games that we're gonna select. Who else picking Redskins? Ethan.
I'm going with the football team.
My fault. Yeah, the football.
All right,
team.
Washington. Ephraim.
The WFT.
You going Arizona?
Yep.
All right, I'm going with Arizona too. So that's game number 1.
Okay.
DeAndre Hopkins.
All right.
and the bull Murray balling like he balling, it's a wrap. I'm telling you, they gonna get a nice team.
Who they got? Chandler.
I was thinking about making them my sleeper team for this year too. To be honest with you, but I ride with Vegas.
All right. Question: will the trade of DeAndre Hopkins will that hurt or will that hunt?
It already hurt. It's already
I'm
hurt.
about to say that. Yeah, they feeling it already.
What did they get for him? What did they get for him?
I think the Texans just
Not
got
a
drafted.
doggone thing.
They got I think they got a couple receivers.
Why didn't we get him?
See what it was they said I didn't realize
that's your boy Howie. That's your boy Howie.
But you know what? I didn't realize. Do you know how much DeAndre Hopkins is making?
I don't care. You know how much Brandon Graham making?
No.
You know how much?
Listen, the boy Hopkins is making $27 million each year for the next 2 years. That's why he would. That's a lot for a wide receiver. I don't know if I'm going to hamstring my salary cap to give a wide receiver $27 million in a year. That's a lot. That's quarterback money.
You don't have to pay your quarterback though yet, right? Is that why
they didn't have to, but they did?
No, that's why Arizona did it. They quarterbacks still on their rookie deal, so they straight for a little bit.
All right, we got New England and Seattle. Who y'all got?
Seattle.
Ooh.
It's in Seattle. Where's it at? In Seattle, right?
New
Don't
England
matter,
at Seattle.
It's at
That's
Seattle.
a tough matchup because that's Cam going against Russell.
First of all, home field don't make it. If it ain't no crowd in there, it ain't no 12th man.
I keep forgetting about that. Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the hoodie and Cam.
Yeah, I'm going with Billy.
I'm going with
Billy Belichick.
Russell Wilson on a tear right now.
Hold on, I got recap. Me and Ethan agreeing too much right now.
And he got DK Metcalf.
Oh, boy.
That's a tough one.
New England got a nice defense. They got that corner over there. Who that corner over there? Gilmore, whoever his name is. That the corner.
Everybody defense look good till they get hit by Russell. Russell going to tear that defense.
Go ahead, Tim. Next.
All right, let me do my pick. I'm gonna go with New England.
So Ethan the only one that went to Seattle.
And I'll be the winner.
All right. Baltimore, Houston.
I'm taking B-more all day.
Take Baltimore.
Listen,
You know
I'm not going against Lamar Jackson at all this season. If he loses, okay.
Baltimore is actually favored they're the first team I think since the Patriots. When the Patriots got Randy Moss, they're favored every game this year.
So who you got? B-more or Houston?
I'm gonna go Baltimore. I want to go with Houston, but I
Go ahead, go Houston.
No, I'm not going against Lamar too much this year. They offense.
I gotta go with Baltimore too. The way Houston played in that Kansas City game,
I think we all gonna go with Baltimore.
They look like they regressed. Houston like they regressed. They might have to fire that coach.
They did. They lost their number one.
They lost it, right? Exactly.
That's what happens when you lose your number one weapon. You go regress.
Yeah.
And you didn't fully replace them. They got who they got. They got the bull for the Patriots had that Jenkins knocked out in the Super Bowl. What's his name?
So he deserved his $27 million.
I forget. You know what I'm talking about? They got.
I know who you're talking about. He used to play for the Rams too, right?
Yeah, exactly. I forget what's his name.
Brandon, is it Brandon?
We got Atlanta at Dallas.
Brandon Cooks. Yeah.
Atlanta at Dallas.
Oh, Atlanta. Going Atlanta.
Atlanta at Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't care if Dallas was playing Cincinnati or I don't care. I'm going with Atlanta.
Wayne.
Atlanta going to win. Watch.
I think I might go Atlanta too because I don't like Dallas's coach. I didn't like him in Eric. I didn't like him
or
in
their
Green
quarterback.
Bay.
I don't like their quarterback either.
I didn't like him in Green Bay. I thought he was overhyped. I thought Brett Favre got him a championship. So I think I'll go Atlanta.
I'm actually take Dallas this week. I'm gonna take Dallas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dallas too.
Of course you are.
We already knew that.
Not as a fan.
I don't trust Matt Ryan. Like I don't trust Matt Ryan as much as I don't trust Dak. So to me, it's like Matt Ryan can have a hot game, Dak can have a hot game, but then they could both throw a clunker at will.
That's true.
So I'm gonna go with Dallas.
All right, then as far as is the fifth game? Is that going to be our Eagles game?
No, let's do another one.
No, do another team.
All right.
I'm going with the Eagles every week.
Yeah.
I actually do think the Eagles
Minnesota at Indiana.
I'm going Minnesota. They lost. I know they got spanked by Green Bay. I think they're gonna bounce back.
All right.
I want to pick a Green Bay game. Who Green Bay play this week? Hang on, let me stop. Go ahead, Ephraim. You can pick.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Minnesota too. I mean, they're the more. It's kind of like what we was talking about. I think we talked about on the last podcast about teams like the Chiefs who had more consistency in a team and didn't have as much turnover. They was going to be the teams that was successful. With Phillip Rivers coming in and all that, I'm gonna go with Vikings. Even though I like Phillip Rivers, he actually had a pretty good game last week.
I'm gonna go with Indianapolis.
I think I'm gonna go Vikings though. I think I'm
Going
gonna go
Vikings too.
Yeah.
All right, so all y'all picks is locked. Now tell me this: as far as Tom Brady is, based on what you saw last week, is he finished or was it just a bad game?
I mean, he had an all right
He's
game.
finished.
No, what are the stats?
What's the stats?
Yeah.
Stats.
He threw a pick six. He's a white Jameis Winston.
So somebody throw a pick six, that mean they automatically trash?
He picked up right where Jameis Winston left off at.
I know he did.
No. Jameis Winston was throwing interceptions on an unprecedented level.
Yeah. Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 78 rating. That's not good. I mean, 239 on the yard, but he was playing against the Saints. The Saints is a good team.
So he basically played like Carson Wentz.
No, he ain't had the fumbles like Carson Wentz though.
Let me ask y'all this: so, was it more Bill or was it more Brady?
Bill.
No, I mean, I think it's a combination.
After one game, it's only one game.
Bill won.
I'll say this: the one time we saw Bill without Brady, he went 11-5 with Matt Castle and got Matt Castle paid. You know what I mean?
I think I lean more toward Bill.
I think I would lean more toward Bill, but that's not. I mean, let me put a percentage on it because I don't want to make it look like I'm disrespecting time. I say 55-45 Bill.
You know why I say Bill though? If you look at it, those teams when they won early on, it was because their defense balled out.
I agree.
For real, the first year that Tom Brady like balled out in the Super Bowl was when they beat the. To me, I think when they beat the Panthers. When they beat the Panthers, it was like a shootout between the Panthers and the Patriots. But other than that, the other ones, it was like the
defense kind of won that too because I think the score was like 21.
No, that joint was a shootout because Jake Delhomme, for some reason, he was putting up numbers. Look at that joint up. I think that joint was a shootout.
The defense won that Rams game.
Yeah, but no. I agree, but I'm saying I think the first couple years it was more like the defense, but for some reason I feel like it was a shootout between Jake Delhomme and Tom Brady.
No, it wasn't no shootout.
What was the score?
I think it was the system. I think it's the system Belichick put around Brady, and Brady was into that thing perfectly. He's the perfect fit.
For two cheaters, they was the perfect. Come on, I'm not giving no props to somebody who got caught like 4 times cheating.
Listen, it ain't cheating unless you're caught.
I think Arizona coaches. I think Tampa Bay coaches are dope.
You're right, Wayne. That was more of a shootout than I thought. It was 30.
That's what I'm saying. I was surprised because I thought Jake Delhomme. I thought they was gonna like Jake Delhomme up.
All right.
Jake Delhomme balled a little something.
Finally, can Kansas City? Do y'all think Kansas City go undefeated?
You asked a question about Tom Brady. I don't think none of us really answered it. You said, is he done? No.
This is the second time around, but go ahead.
No, I didn't fully get to flex. Tom Brady.
Did you see in the comments they were talking about you cutting people off? Like let the thing work.
I'm saying. I know you always trying to stifle somebody's greatness. Man, sit back and let it happen.
That's because it's past his bedtime.
Love talking the most.
It's past his bedtime.
Go ahead.
If you watch that game, he actually should have had well over 239 yards. He had 2 pass interferences. He dropped dimes to Mike Evans, and both times the cornerback grabbed Mike Evans and pass interference them. And them joints was on the money. They was downfield throws. So is he done? No, I don't think he's done at all. He probably should have had, like I said, at least 350 yards passing on if both them bombs would have connected without the pass interference. But no, I don't think he's done. I think he got more juice left in the tank. Tom Brady a balling. Who was they playing this week? Who do we say? It was them and who else?
They played New Orleans.
No, I'm talking this coming week.
They playing Carolina.
Oh, that's a win. No, Tampa Bay playing Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they won. Okay, they won.
They
Even though Bridgewater actually pretty good.
Brady needs the offensive line to block for him because Brady has no mobility. So if that offensive line is not blocking for him or it's not a decent run game behind it, he's in trouble. But if you give Brady time, Brady to me is like the equivalent of a sniper 3-point shooter in the NBA. If you leave that ball wide open, he gonna stroke it. So same thing with Brady. If you give him time, and if you block and give him time, especially with that receiving core, he's gonna pick you apart.
I agree.
Now, as far as Kansas City, do y'all think they can go undefeated? You think they are going to repeat?
Which question are you asking?
Both. Do you think they can go undefeated?
Nobody's going undefeated in the NFL.
Why?
Because football is any given Sunday. But when New England did it,
so don't
they lost in the Super Bowl.
Your lifetime.
So they didn't go undefeated because they lost in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they won.
And that was a fluke.
Okay.
I say this: if anybody can do it, it's the Chiefs. They got the best quarterback in the league.
Not with that Andy Reid coaching in his timeouts.
Nah, I mean,
he got better.
I mean, one thing I will say about Andy, he changed his philosophy a lot since he left here when it comes to running the football. Even when he first went over there and he had whatchamacallit.
Charles.
Exactly.
Charles.
He definitely let them put a lot of work in. So,
but you know what too, you got to look at too when the Patriots was doing that. Who was the Patriots division? The Dolphins, the Bills was trashed in, and you had Miami. I mean Miami, the Bills, and who was the other team? The Jets. All was trash.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think the Raiders is actually a decent team.
I agree too. But I still don't
so
think
in order for you to go to undefeated, you have to have. And Kansas City is coming off of a Super Bowl year, so you know that they have a roster. They have a schedule that's a winning team schedule, which is supposed to be a tougher schedule. So I don't think they can go undefeated.
They'll be 2-0.
What'd you say?
They play the Chargers, so they'll be 2-0.
Yeah, they will, but I don't think that they sweep. I don't think they sweep the Raiders.
It's 2 games that's going to keep them possibly from being perfect this year. It's the Ravens and the Saints.
Oh, they play the Ravens?
They play the Ravens this year.
The Ravens, Saints, and the Raiders are the 3 teams. They're going to lose at least one of those games.
They play the Ravens week 3, matter of fact. They play the Patriots. I think they could beat the Patriots. I think they could, even though the Raiders, I picked them to be my sleeper team, I think they could sweep the Raiders. The Raiders' defense still ain't ready yet. They got an offense. They allowed Teddy Bridgewater, and I'm no disrespect to Bridgewater, but with the Panthers put up like 29 against them or something like that.
Bridgewater get a little disrespected.
No, I mean, but he been going for a while, and now he come in straight from the.
No, he wasn't going for a while. He was playing for the Saints last year.
I mean, what you see with the Saints? I mean,
what Bridgewater was balling with the Saints. When Drew went down, huh? Drew was out. Wasn't Drew out for a couple games, and Bridgewater came in, and they didn't skip a beat.
No. He played solid, but he wasn't balling. Like, I ain't seen no balling games. I think he was a game manager. That's pretty much what Bridgewater is at this point in his career. He's a game manager. So for him to put up numbers on the Raiders defense to me ain't ready. So I think the Chiefs can. I think. Well,
I'm gonna just say this to you. His quarterback rating last year was 99.1. His quarterback rating in that Carolina game was 98.8. So
what was
so?
How about
Dak
got
a 97 quarterback
but what I'm saying is
he
what you say? What happened?
That's for you, Tim.
Oh. He 2019 his quarterback rating was a 99.1, which was better.
How many yards he passed?
He passed for 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
That's what I mean.
But I'm just saying that to say. Whereas though, like what he's doing this year,
right? We watched.
The games he actually was good in them games.
But you use the word balling too loosely.
Yeah, to me, what I
saw 99.1 quarterback rating, not balling.
That's what I'm saying. What I saw wasn't balling. He was managing the game well, but I wouldn't say balling. I'm not trying to I like Bridgewater. It was the same thing in Minnesota. He wasn't balling in Minnesota, but he was a very good quarterback. He was decent. But, I mean, I'm not saying he can't get better. He might have got better, but I don't see balling from him, not yet. He might prove me wrong. I don't know. He might prove me wrong.
No, I'm just saying because you said about him last week. You were saying about like last week, like he did real good last week, but his whole season last year was better on average than what last week was. So that maybe that is what he is.
Yeah,
All right, I think y'all exhausted that topic.
I'll tell you when I'm done.
All right, so now we're at this part of the podcast where
Let's do it, Tim. You know what you want to do.
we at this part where we said that we appreciate these two quarterbacks that were drafted in 2016.
No, we don't.
We're gonna actually face the number 1 pick, which was Jared Goff, on Sunday. The number 2 pick was Carson Wentz, and the 4th round pick was Dak Prescott. But we're gonna be comparing the stats of Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, and we're gonna go based off of what they did last week. And each week we're gonna do this. Now Ethan is taking, and I can't see how he's gonna possibly defend what Wentz did last week, but he's gonna try. So we're gonna talk about it right now. We're gonna talk about what Carson Wentz did. Defend his actions. Just tell me. Defend what he did. Tell me that he had a good game.
No, I'm not going to tell you. Listen, I'm not going to tell you Carson had a good game. Carson had a bad game. What just happened?
Yeah, he
shared the screen. He's like an old person. He's like, what's going on my screen?
I'm not going to tell you. So these are the stats from last game, right?
These are their stats from week 1 of the NFL season.
Okay.
And they're not too far. They were not too far apart. I can't gloat too much because both quarterbacks lost. So both are starting the season 0-1. However, as far as completions, Dak completed 25, Wentz completed 24. Dak he had fewer attempts, which is why he had a 64% completion, which is very good. That completion rate is very good.
It wasn't that many fewer attempts. It was only 3 fewer.
In comparison to 57, which is meh.
Really? But hold this is we actually you see what you trying to do is you trying to put the stats down because what you trying to do is you trying to put up stats and make a play, and the stats even close though. You trying to put up stats.
Not 8
stats
sacks.
Stats don't tell. And look at the 8 sacks. Stats don't tell the whole game. Let's look at how Dak let his team down, just like Carson did when it was time. So you can't gloat over 2 losses. Dak actually had a very winnable game.
Dak had a better game than Carson.
And are we just going to?
But he didn't do enough to win.
Out of ref.
So how good was
that's
it?
called that pass interference that was so bogus, and y'all know it.
It was a pass interference.
It was bogus.
It was a pass interference.
To be honest with you, and when you watch the replay, do you feel like the ref should have called that play at that particular time in the game?
You sound like a Cowboy fan. Shut up.
Listen, they probably shouldn't have called it, but however, it was a call earlier in the game that was against the Rams that could have easily went against Dallas. No, it was a call that wasn't made. I think somebody passed interference somebody on defense or something like that. They didn't call it. So I mean that happened. So
that was the second one though that they called against Dak. That was the second one they did that game. It was like they was the refs. I don't know if they was mad at him. I don't know.
It was a pass interference.
He did.
And the quarterback sold it nicely.
See, one thing I will say is I'm glad this year I've been noticing. I don't know if it's a point of emphasis for the officials, but they've been calling a lot more offensive pass interference because the offensive wide receivers get away with murder, and the defensive dude, you touch him, he's falling all over the place, and it's a flag every time. So I'm actually a little bit glad to see the defense. You know, me being a cornerback, I was a shutdown cornerback for quite many years. But anyway, me seeing that,
You used to shut that water cooler down real good.
That to me is a positive that they actually call an offensive pass interference.
I agree.
So as far as offensive weapons this year, as the receivers, we can say they're pretty much even this year. So
no,
I'm talking. If you count the
who receivers
Dallas do not have tight ends. Dallas don't have tight ends. We have 2 of the best tight ends in the league.
Tim, stop, man.
Am I lying? Am I lying? Just tell me I'm lying.
But, I mean, all right, we got better tight ends. Their receivers are better, if you ask me. What did Zach
Ertz do last week outside of the one catch?
And he had a huge drop in the clutch.
Right. So what does Zach Ertz do?
I mean, but more important.
I'm not saying he's still better. Just because he had a bad game don't mean that he's not a good tight end.
Yeah,
I mean,
and so Cooper's not better than any receiver we got.
they got Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb.
I'm taking that receiver.
And I'm taking that. And who they got? They hand the ball off to that they put 8 men in the box.
That's the big. That's the big difference.
So that
He had 96 rushing yards He had 96 rushing yards. Don't act like he had.
That's a
96 with them focusing on him. Like, tell him stop. You're not going to diminish the effect of that.
What I'm saying is,
that
Carson Wentz
Elliott has on a defense.
We're not going to diminish the fact that Carson Wentz holds on to the ball way too long, which is why all them sacks happens, which is why the turnovers happen, which is why we got smoked after he threw the interception.
All right,
We're not going to diminish that either.
Dak had a slightly better game.
Dak had no turnovers.
Dak was a good team manager. Well, he wasn't even a good team manager. He wasn't even a good game manager because he didn't win.
He game managed.
But he was a game manager. He got one touchdown and
who had the better game? All right, Ethan. Who had the better game between the two losing quarterbacks?
Hey, I mean, you.
No, I'm just saying. If we're gonna do wins, we're gonna do wins and losses each week. First, based off of week one, who was the better quarterback?
It's even.
And you know what? I'm telling you, I really can't. I see what
You
you're
can't
saying.
You can't really say.
No,
I'm gonna tell you this.
My fault.
But I'm gonna tell you this because one thing you got to remember too, and we ain't talking about this, is the offensive line. So this dude not only got a better running game, he got a better offensive line and better wide receivers, and you only put up one touchdown. All right, you know what's really gonna be all right. This I'm telling you. We can say, you know what, you can say Dak got a little slight edge, or you can say it's even. This week will be the telltale sign to see what Wentz does against that same Rams defense that Dak just played. I want to see what Wentz do against.
Right. No, I agree, but no, this is my thing, and y'all know I'm Wentz. Like I said, I got the Wentz jersey. Wentz, I'm hoping Wentz is that bull. But when I look at it, them turnovers, you know what I'm saying, the two fumbles, if Wentz does not turn the ball over, if he does not turn that ball over, we win the game.
I agree.
Turn the ball over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to big up Dak like he had this great game, but to me, he had a better game than Wentz.
Exactly. So week one, can we all agree? Week one, Dak goes to win.
If Dak would have completed 3 more passes, they would have won the game too. So
listen, if
Carson would have completed 1 more pass and not threw 2 more,
if it was a fifth.
And not fumbled another play, then we might have won 2.
Listen, can we all agree that week one goes to Dak? It needs to be a majority. Can we get a majority vote?
You know you ain't gonna get a majority just because you.
No,
because you up in here with a Jalen Hurts jersey.
Ephraim, can we get a majority vote?
I give a slight edge to Dak.
All right, Dak week one. Thank you.
That ain't majority. Oh no, that is majority.
It is the majority. Week one goes to Dak Prescott, young Dak.
I might change mine and just say Wentz just because I don't want to give.
How you going to give 10? They both lost.
That's what
and they both missed plays. Like Dak missed plays. I don't know.
That's what
I want to hear the comment section on this one. I got to.
Wentz had 3 turnovers. I don't care what you say. The turnovers kill. If Wentz, I'd have rather Wentz been a game manager. This past game, and we get the win because our defense was solid enough. I would have rather that than him being out there like he's trying to, beat the world.
Yeah,
honestly. He could have tucked them 2 touchdowns and managed the rest of the game.
Yep, but instead,
dude, what 2 touchdowns?
Wentz when he threw the 2 touchdowns, he could have tucked them 2. I agree, but he didn't do that. That's the
gunslinger.
Y'all remember what?
Gunslinger don't tuck the ball.
The coach didn't have him do that.
But guess what? The coach ain't throw that interception.
Y'all remember when Donovan got drafted in 1999? Do y'all remember what game he came in when he took over permanently for Doug Peterson? Was that game 6 or 7?
Wasn't it the Washington game?
And he never looked back.
So what are you saying now?
Here we go. Hey, Tim, do you think Jalen Hurts gets in the game this week?
Nah.
What'd you say? We do a question?
Do I think Jalen Hurts get in the game? No, not yet. He's still learning. They still grooming him. It's only a matter of time for number 2. It's only a number of time.
He might be around next year, but if
it's a matter of time. I mean, any closing final thoughts? Anything y'all want to talk about? Oh, yeah, briefly. Boston down 0-2. Miami took the lead. Miami is going to the finals.
Where all my Jason Tatum fans?
Yeah, I don't know.
Boston choked this game.
Jason Tatum was trained by Kobe. The Mamba. He has the Mamba mentality.
I don't want to make this long. I don't want to make this polo crazy. But why? And what is that?
It's not a polo. It's not a polo.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean.
You'll make the podcast too long, but
why if you down 2 like that first game, Miami and Boston, when the game is tied and they about to go in overtime, why do dudes shoot fadeaway 3-pointers?
Because that's what everybody do now. But that's what you love. All offensive
Luka
players just jack the ball up and
The
score.
game is tied though. Tatum shooting a step back. It's tied. All you need is a bucket. Go get a bucket.
But that's the shot he's comfortable with though.
he wanted that glory. He wanted that Luka moment. Remember Luka did that earlier.
That's that Black Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
See, you know what? And I might get a lot of flack for this, and I don't mean it disrespectfully, but that Mamba mentality stuff irritates.
Me too.
Irritate
We
me.
we don't want. So you about to get us flagged?
No, come on. Listen, this is gonna get some views because you know all the Mamba.
I'm not gonna let y'all do that.
The Mamba people, the Mamba followers are as bad as the Lebanonites. The Lebanonites. Wasn't that a tribe of Israel? The Lebanonites.
Hey, Tim, you gotta keep it a bean. I'm not talking about the Kobe Mamba mentality. I'm talking about this whole nation, this movement of people like, oh, the Mamba mentality, and all that's like, what is that? Like, stop. Like, Kobe was Kobe. Let Kobe have that.
First of all, the Mamba mentality was biting off of Mike. So I mean that was Mike's mentality.
All right, thank y'all.
Speak up.
No, see, that's why your jaw cut out just now.
Tell us how that internet reaches.
That's why
Did you hear? Did you not hear what the people said? Stop cutting us off, Tim.
I'm not gonna let y'all talk about Kobe in a disrespectful manner.
No. See, I'm not talking about Kobe. I'm talking about all.
I am.
See, I'm not talking about Kobe per se. All right, I'm talking about this whole thing, like Kobe just gifted everybody this mentality. You could just have this mentality, like all you gotta say is, "I got the Mamba mentality," and all of a sudden you got it. Like, what is that? Like,
I went to Kobe's camp and he touched my forehead. No, I have Mamba mentality.
Yeah, it's like that's your irritation.
That's like they gassed it up. Like come on, Kawhi Leonard was an MVP candidate before he even went and worked out with Kobe. It's like Kobe worked out with Kawhi. You see what Kawhi doing? Kobe worked out with Tatum. You see what Tatum doing?
That's all.
So you know what the Kobe mentality is? Kobe mentality is shoot the ball whether you off, even if you off. You just keep.
So you tell me James Harden got the Mamba mentality?
It is. You continue. You don't.
That's not true.
They all.
Can I define the Kobe? The Mamba mentality is it's like it's a killer instinct. Like you don't care who. Like I remember in 2001, he came to Philadelphia. He was a hometown. He's from the area, but he didn't care. He wanted to rip our throats out.
And Shaq won that series. Stop with this hype. This was killing me with these dudes. Shaq won that series. It was not Kobe.
I agree.
Kobe didn't shut AI down. Kobe got on AI and they funneled him in to Shaquille O'Neal, who was helping out every time.
Make sure I come through clear. You talking foolishness.
Foolishness.
Listen, they're right. It was Shaq. AI average.
It was Shaq.
AI average is still one of the highest finals averages in history. I think it's like 35 points a game he averaged in that final. So
now, mind you, I'm going to say this, and a lot of boys know that I can't stand the whole hype up of Kobe because boys, and I know the man passed, and okay, but some boys want to, idolize Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
And because boys try to sit there and they try to
every single subscriber.
I don't care. They're going to listen because they want to hate. Comment on it because y'all know most of the boys that's going to talk.
Man, he wasn't my favorite basketball player, but I respect.
Listen, Kobe's the second greatest shoot guard that ever played. But that's not gassing. Like some boys want to sit there and say Kobe's better than LeBron. Kobe's this. Some boys even try to argue that Kobe better than Mike. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they out of pocket.
That's a whole nother podcast. That's another podcast.
Well, let's go into it. I ain't got no sleep time. I don't care what time you got to get up, Ethan. Ephraim should have been here on time.
How can they listen to us? Y'all can listen to us on Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube under the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. I mess this up every single time.
Yeah. Go ahead, comment on Kobe. Go ahead, y'all Kobe lovers. Go ahead, Mamba mentality.
Yep, checking us out. We'll see y'all after the game. We're gonna be live after the game. We're gonna have a call-in number for y'all. Call in, and we're gonna take some calls from y'all after the game because
keep it clean, y'all.
Yeah, keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Definitely keep it clean. We out.
Peace.